We're live, by the way.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I cannot believe all of these projections. I just barely finished doing. I was doing the early slate, then the late slate, and so I'm just finishing this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to say
What kind of scores were that last night, huh? That was freaking nuts.
11 teams scored 10 or more runs yesterday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it really didn't. I mean, look, your Arizona one was awesome, but it almost didn't matter in the end what you did, except for Sharks used your Arizona idea, and he won the 250.
It made my whole day.
So we're giving Sharks. Great job, man. Really happy to see it.
Love
to see it. Really a great tournament to win, and ready to get after it today. So, yeah, we got a nice little 5-gamer. Then we're going to baseball. Then we're going to golf after Sheets has got his crazy amount of projections going on because it's one of those Wednesdays.
No, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
So we'll do the early slate, then we'll do the main slate, and then we'll do golf. And at 11 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna go live to sweat baseball, and then do a live lineup build for the Open Championship.
Yep, sounds good. I'll be there.
Let me share my screen.
FSPGA projections have been updated.
Yes. Oh. Okay. I have to change all my lineups. Obviously, oh my God, everybody's scratched. Okay. All right. Let's. Yeah, I was gonna. My earlier look, I had Tampa, and now like their whole team is scratched. So I have to. I just redid it.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Tampa would be an interesting way to go. I guess we can just go game by game here like we normally do because we don't have that many games to go through.
Well, let's go. We can go slate by slate. We can go spot by spot because so it's a 5-game slate with Houston at Colorado, right?
Right.
So the question is do you play Houston, and if not, how do you not play them, etc. First of all, I did not look at the weather at all. Is there any rain concerns in either Baltimore or Colorado?
Yeah, in Colorado.
Okay, is it legit or?
It's completely unknown right now.
Is it? Hold on.
It's a yellow, but it's
a yellow. Okay, so it's not like it's orange, red, or anything like that.
Yeah, but it's a yellow saying I literally have no idea how many of these storms are going to go over the stadium. So it seems like a very early stage yellow.
Well, let's just see what he says here.
From right.
Disorganized. This. Okay. Winds blowing in. That's interesting.
Yeah, like 12 miles an hour wind blowing in.
Okay. All right. That's something. And Dodgers, Baltimore, nothing. Okay.
It'll be fine.
All right. First, the first thing I noticed when I was looking at I have to rebuild all the lineups for today, but was that there was a very noticeable absence of pitching. Not like last night was any better.
Right.
But
last night it was Medina and Sandoval who were, I think, the high-scoring pitchers.
I thought it was Logan and Allen. No,
but I don't know. The other guys.
He was deep in the 20s. I think Musgrove was deep in the 20s too.
Yeah, but the cheapos were the way to go. They were on every winning lineup. I don't know what the final scores were, but those were the two.
Yeah, so it looks as though Bello and Urias are the two guys today, right? All right,
just to answer this question, Goldie's not going to have a morning. When we have the split slates, Goldie goes so long. It takes like 3.5 hours for him to do those things. So for him to do the morning slate on Wednesdays is just never going to happen. Never plan on it, but he will, I'm sure, have a main slate look. And if he has one ready, even I don't think you'd have time to watch it before it happened if he did have an early look. So
yeah, you have to start watching it like for the next day's slate.
Right. Anyway, sorry, Sheets, go ahead.
So I guess Urias and Bello, right? Those are the two top pitchers. I mean, so I guess let's start with this one. So Urias, I mean, it's a small slate with no options. I mean,
yeah.
So you have to think he's the best pitcher and the best projection and probably the best. I don't want to say the best spot, but given everything else, I mean, either Urias or Bello, I guess. So I guess you like Urias today, right? But you can't play Urias with Houston. So, what do you? I guess you want to play
Urias today. I really just think it's a mistake to play if you're going to 5-man stack Houston, I think you just donate the money. I just don't see ways to win that way. Like if you're max entering, I can understand it, but I just don't think you're making 5-man Houston stacks today.
Well, why don't you talk about that a little bit? Then?
I said it yesterday too. I thought it was a terrible idea to play Houston.
No. What do you mean by saying if you were max entering, then that's different?
Because then you're at least equaling the number of rosters someone else can put out there with the same thing. But in that case, you're going to have people with 150 entering 150 different variations of Houston's lineup. So it's not like you're going to have anything to differentiate, even if you do that. But it gives you at least a fair chance if you're max entering to. It's the only time I would ever consider playing those kind of stacks when you have literally the lowest owned player on Houston is going to be 20% owned. I just can't get my head around the numbers. So I have no problem with 4-man Houston stacks or lower because there aren't that many options. But I would just certainly avoid any 5-man stacks. I just don't buy it. I don't play that way unless I think it's just too unbelievable a spot. Not to mention, Houston not only lets down so most of the time. Gomber, I know he had some horrible outings at the beginning. He gives up home runs, but I can't remember. It's hard for me to remember a team actually somebody winning a tournament because they stacked against Gomber, even though he had some really bad outings earlier. His last 5 outings, he's given up his highest run total. He's given up his 4 runs. He hasn't given up a home run in 3 out of the last 4 games he's pitched. He does give up a lot of home runs in general. That's going to probably keep happening. He doesn't walk a ton of guys. His control has been really, really good lately. So I'm just not on the Houston stack. I said pieces, 4-man, all that stuff, totally fine with. Just making the standard 5-man stack. I just think you're running into too many possibilities.
So let's get back to this game then. So if that's the case, so if you're not going to play Houston, then I'm not as worried about you playing Urias, right? So do you agree that Urias is the best pitcher on the slate?
No, I have him third.
Okay.
I have Bello and Alcantara, whatever, better than him.
Interesting.
And Urias just doesn't have they're really, really not letting him go right now. He struggled for a while when they were letting him pitch deeper into games, and he struggled later in the games in a lot of those cases. So they're really just keeping him, 6 innings or 90 pitches or less, basically. So that's my justification for not having more Urias. But I do think it's really close between the 3 guys. It's just I don't think it's I don't think you're going to get any ownership discount on any of them. I think that it's probably going to be Bello, Alcantara 1 and 2 as the highest owned. And I think that Urias will be number 3. Maybe he'll be number 2 ahead of Alcantara. I could see that being a possibility. But there really aren't many other even really you could play Kremer against the Dodgers, but I like the Dodgers. You could play the Criswell thing. I'm not doing. I don't like playing the long reliever thing. I feel like it's not always a guarantee that they get in. And it doesn't feel right. Dakota Hudson returning, he would be an option, but very, very fringy. And Waldachuk, who we've seen throw as little as 1 inning when he starts a game and as many as 3 innings lately. No, 4 innings, actually. He pitched 3 2/3 last time. So really you're deciding between 4 guys, Gray, Urias, Alcantara, Bello. Everybody else, well, I guess you can include Kremer in that mix if you want to. But everybody else is a super fringy type of play at best, would be the way that I would look at it. So I do have Urias as one of the guys, and I do have the Dodgers as my favorite stack. As I keep mentioning, you put the Dodgers in with this kind of an upgrade in hitting weather and stadium. They're playing at 90 degrees. It's just they're just going to get there so much of the time. It is frustrating. They've got more weapons now off the bench. They've got more righties, and especially today, they're not starting JD Martinez, which means that Hayward hit a home run in the first inning last night and was pinch hit for in the second inning. So he didn't get he didn't get his hit a home run in the second inning. He did pinch hit for the third inning. So Hayward didn't even get his second at bat. That's the problem with stacking the Dodgers today. It's the scary part. Outman and Peralta are more likely to stay in than Hayward is, but they're not a guarantee either. Just throwing that out there.
It's really interesting. You start to learn different tendencies of the optimizers and SaberSim. And you remember that yesterday they wanted me to play like 1,000,000% of this Chris Murphy character.
Yeah.
So now if I just run my straight projections into SaberSim or whatever, who do you think I'm getting 70% of? The aforementioned 2 innings of Ken Waldichuk.
Well, yeah. I mean, he might pitch longer. Like he has the ability to. He did it earlier in the year, but I don't know. It just feels kind of gross. But look, it's. I guess you could do it. Do you really need the savings? If you're playing the Dodgers, maybe you do. I just don't see it as being enough of a savings. And to answer Remo's question here about the Bielak, I think that it's understandable to pitch him against Colorado for sure. It's not like it's like good pitching weather, just to make it clear, in Colorado. Not to mention there's definitely chances for a delay. I would probably just rather play basically anybody else in that range than Bielak. It's understandable. But I don't know. I can't. I just am not getting that creative a pitcher today. I'm going to just play one of the 4 guys. I don't think I want to talk about it any further. If you wanted to play him like Bielak, sure. Maybe a little bit more of a leash than these other guys, but I don't know. I'm just not trying to get different at pitching at all.
What about I'm gonna have an idea for you. So I kind of agree with the I don't want to say I agree. The Dodger stuff, I'll take your not your word for it, but I'll take your comment under advisement about Arias's leash.
I'd like to see the number of games the Dodgers in over to 80-degree weather have gone over the total, because I think it's been every single game. I really do. I don't think that they ever don't get there in these games, and it's just like, sure, the other night they only scored 6, but they just always get there, and they have a 5-run total again. They have a 4.96 run total. I will bet on the over on that one again. Yeah, I think again another guy for the Orioles who I think is a little bit sneaky good, and he's been good. It's just these kind of matchups just don't work well for these guys against this Dodger team. I don't think.
So with all these Tampa guys, not all these Tampa guys, with Franco and Arozarena, to be specific, out. Is John Gray the worst player in the world?
No, he's fine. He's one of the 4.
Okay.
One of the 4 guys. He's been really bad, but he was better earlier in the year, and Tampa strikes out a lot as it is, but hasn't put up a decent game in a while. He had that one incredible complete game, and since then we've seen it happen so often when these pitchers throw their ceiling number of pitches that they end up just not being the same afterwards, and he hasn't been the same at all.
So Alcantara, they rained out yesterday. Is that what happened?
I don't understand.
I thought that we were talking about Alcantara yesterday for some reason.
No, we weren't.
Okay.
No, they played yesterday.
Okay.
Pretty sure they did. Yeah. No. We talked about him on Friday a lot when he was 6.8K.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on in my brain right now?
And he's got a decent history. I'm just gonna take a quick look at his BVP. I'm just gonna take a quick look and see how he's done in this matchup. I think it's probably pretty good. Yeah. So only 3 starts against them. That's a lot less than I would have thought. But they're hitting 150 off of him with a 30% strikeout rate. So Alcantara and Bello or Urias are going to be who I pitch today, and just live with the consequences.
So what kind of mood are you in today? You in a spicy mood or like a
little spicy this morning?
I mean, like really spicy or not just a little spicy?
Spicy in terms of stacks, not necessarily spicy in terms of pitching.
Okay.
Why, you got a pitcher? You want to mention Dakota Hudson?
No, I kind of want to mention Austin Gomber.
I mean, I guess if there's like the weirdest of all times to do it, like you're gonna have a 0% owned guy who, if he gets you 15, you're happy with it.
With the wind blowing in.
The wind blowing in, but it's Colorado and it's in.
Well, it's not ideal.
Yeah. No, but I mean, look, his last 4 starts, his last 5 starts have all been good against Cincinnati, Boston, the Yankees, and the Angels, and then the Tigers. Boy, everybody has that ceiling game against the Tigers.
They're so bad.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, look, yesterday, hey, they won all. They were the stack that won all the money for the most part in almost all the tournaments.
Who?
The Tigers, because they were cheap and they ended up with 11 runs.
How many did the Cubs get? Like 30 runs yesterday or something?
18.
Amazing.
But you'd be better. Like it's again the runs and versus how they're scored thing. I think you'd be better off with your Arizonas because you got.
It was like they're scoring more than the freaking Arizona Cardinals have been recently.
Yes, they definitely are. That's true.
Yeah. So you like Colorado today?
I think that's a really good pivot. But the problem is like we usually get them solo owned, and actually they're going to be owned today.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's just such a small slate. And as are the Dodgers, who I like. But the Dodgers at least have pieces that won't be owned, I don't think, as much. I don't think Peralta, Hayward, Outman, Barnes get owned very much. So if you include two of those guys in your stacks, that's the way I would try to do it, get the two top sub 10 percenters. I also think that you can make a really good case for Texas in a long relief game. You usually don't like to fully stack against that, but it's a 5-game slate. You don't need to get as much done. Texas is going to be overlooked. So if you could find a way to spend down on pitching and play Texas and the Dodgers and skip the Houston, Colorado, I think that you're going to have a very unique thing. The problem is I just can't sign off on any of these cheapos. Even Tampa Bay is going to have some ownership. One thing you could do that if you wanted just a perfect stack for the lottery would be like Miami or something. Because Dakota Hudson is only going to pitch a couple innings. It's going to be sort of a bullpen game. It's 85 degrees, huge just stadium upgrades in general. And I think that you're going to just see they're like one offense that I'm kind of interested in that has nobody who's going to play them. And yeah, they're probably the lowest owned offense on the slate, and I think they're very viable. I'm also not doing the Boston thing today because
Sheetbot said True DFS PGA projections have been updated. They should be available on SaberSim in a few minutes.
Will be out. And again, I just don't like to play them when they have the biggest stadium downgrade on the slate. So,
what's the deal? What's the deal with Ken Waldichuk? I mean,
they use him as an opener sometimes, and you don't even know they don't announce it. They didn't announce it that one game. They just used him as an opener.
But he's literally never pitched. I mean, he hasn't pitched 5 innings since May.
Yeah, that's something to worry about.
Yeah, I'd rather take Gomber. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, look, it's if you want to get creative, if you want to play the Rock. When you're playing Gomber, you're already not playing Houston, so there you go.
It's really funny. So what a surprise. So in my SaberSim build, if I force in 20% Gomber, you know what I get? 80% Astros stats. Pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I posted, just for what it's worth, guys, I posted my early build in the premium Discord. I do have 4 Houstons and 4 Dodgers in that one. It's going to be whittled down, but that's what I've got for right now.
Okay, I'll say this about so this is kind of like a SaberSim analysis. So I just for kicks, I X'd out the Astros in the stacks just to see what it would look like.
Mm-hmm.
And this is based on 50 entries. I have a 500 entry pool. So 50 liners have a 500 liner pool. So typically what happens is when one team's that great or one player is that great, if you X them out, SaberSim just yells at you. They're like, well, do you have to go further to get whatever? I will say this, that it didn't yell at me. In other words, it just gave me lineups. So it makes me feel as though the Astros are not just a lock. And so if I X out Houston, the next teams I would get, just for the hell of it, would be Colorado, Texas, pretty much a little bit of everybody, except for Oakland. Zero Oakland. Maybe I just do that. Dude, I'm sitting on some profits today. I hit the LOL slate for 5,000 today.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so I can be spicy. You know what I mean?
I like it. That's awesome.
So I can be spicy. I mean, maybe I just do that. This is gonna be one of those. I'm telling you, this is gonna be one of those days where I X out Houston, play 20% Gomber, I feel bad for ever like donating money, so I don't post it on State Kings, and I hit for 50,000.
Right.
That's probably what's going to end up happening. And the other thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to X out Waldachek too. This just seems fraudulent. I don't know. What is he really going to do? 4 innings?
Maybe.
And he's not even that good, like.
No, yeah. I actually think the more I look at it, Boston is so cheap that they definitely make a little bit of sense. But I just changed my 4-4 Dodger Houston to a 5-3 Dodger Texas, which I like.
Great. Oh, so meanwhile, I brought it up. Actually, you brought it up when I asked if you might be spicy. Talk about the Dakota Hudson. Is he worth playing at all or no?
Hey, look at his pitching line. Look at his innings.
Does he look really strong? Huh? Let's see.
He pitched 3 innings, 1 inning, 2 innings, 2 innings.
Oh, look at this guy! Another guy with the leash. Look at that.
3 innings, 2 innings.
He hit 50 pitches. 50 pitches. It's a lot, right?
I mean, yeah, sure. But all right, I'm going to repost my.
So needless to say, on a slate this small, you don't have to 5-man stack. Boy, this is like such a non-sheets way to play. Am I really going to do this? I think I'm going to do it. This is all about transparency, right?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm Xing out Houston.
Okay.
And I'm playing 20% Gomber.
All right, man.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it.
Is it this late to do it?
Bello, Arias, Alcantara, and then Colorado will be Colorado, Texas. Little of that, little of this. And not only that, but not going to be that swamped with 5-man stacks, which you will be proud of.
Nice. Oddly, I have a 5-man stack in my biggest buy-in, but it's really just because it fit. I would have been happy to go 4-3-1 or whatever.
Let's see this. St. Louis.
I have to say, I think that if you're not playing the Dodgers, that I think playing some Kremer is probably a good idea. Just because there's just nobody else viable outside of the top 4, and he should have pretty low ownership considering the size of the slate. And he's just a good pitcher. Like, I actually think he's much better than he gets credit for. Like, really good. I mean, actually.
We're gonna torch some money today.
Oh, the Dodgers game is delayed.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
It's probably a good thing. I'm gonna see if there's anything to see on that real quick. Let's see. The team. So they didn't tarp the field overnight. That's why.
Okay, we got to get a raw thing on this somehow.
Yeah, it looks. He's got a yellow orange. He went from green to yellow orange.
Well, we got time on this one.
No, we don't. Well, we have 30 minutes. We have to record our other thing.
Well, we'll worry about the recording.
Yeah.
Well, we got to figure this out. Recording.
There's anything we can figure out because this is going to be.
Well, we got to watch this. I mean, like we can't.
Well, it's going to go on for the next 3 hours probably, and it's a day.
And that game starts at 1:00. Let's get some info on this. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here.
All right. So check your other weather things, but yeah, we'll do the other thing after. I have to leave. I have a hard leave at 10:45 today, so I have to go to the doctor again. That's partly why I'm spicy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's okay. Spicy's good. Who's direct messaging? Message request. Let's see what's going on with this Dodgers thing. Baseball. Tech ball check. Lineup. Rays. Okay, who forgot to put the tarp on? Know somebody for the Astros.
Oh, the Astros lineup is out. All right, I'll read
Weather report. There is a threat for showers, thunderstorms, but hopefully they'll hold off. Wait, no.
Oh, Pena batting second now for Houston. McCormick batting 6th. Okay. Houston's lineup here. I'll post it in here.
Yeah, I wouldn't know from the Houston lineup because I don't have any of them in my lineups here. Actually, I have a couple of one-offs in here. Okay, I shouldn't say.
I want to let me post it. That's really weird.
Is Corey Julks playing?
Yeah, he's batting 6th.
Is M. Dubon playing?
Yeah, he's leading off. It's Dubon, Pena, Tucker, Bregman, Abreu, McCormick, Julks. Oh, he's hitting 7th. Myers, Maldonado. So no Yainer Diaz either.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Which would be a big one. Probably your cash game would have been the cash game catcher. And yeah, that's pretty much. Let's see, I have to get Yainer out of my lineups. Yainer. Who is Maldonado? Is catcher. Be back. Yeah, I'm still going to leave the Dodgers in because I don't really know what else to do. And my thinking is that this actually might lower the ownership. So should at least. Doesn't change much as long as they're able to get the field in game shape. It does slightly increase its delay chances, especially if it's a long play.
Texas, Tampa.
Yeah, I think Bello's got to be the number 1 then over what's his name?
Arias.
Yeah.
So we don't play Miguel Rojas?
I mean, you're never going to get a home run from him, but you can play him, sure. He'll be one of the lower owned Dodgers, but I wouldn't you don't play him as a one-off or something.
No, as part of a stack though?
Yeah, as part of a stack, yeah. All right, that means I'm going to Bello as my number, but I think that does change things for what it's worth for Urias, because there's a potential for delay later in the game too. So I would probably make Bello my head ahead of Urias.
Considering, like you said, that your worries about his leash anyway.
Right.
This looks pretty good. So Arias, Bello, Alcantara. I'll tell you, what you don't play Coors and just pretend it doesn't exist. Like you could play some good ideas here.
Yeah. Yeah, I like my my double stack here. Worked out perfectly for me. I'm ready for whenever, because if there's any questions or thoughts or anything, I don't really know how else to talk about this Dodger game. I would advise, if you want to listen to the late show later, maybe you jump into Roth's stuff now, because he's probably talking about it on the crunch time. If he's doing the morning crunch time, I don't know if he is, because I don't really know how to read this as of right now. It definitely looks a little concerning. If this was a full slate, I probably would. Like if it was 14 games like yesterday, I probably would just go on to another game to focus on. But we really don't have that many options. So,
all right, we could talk about the main slate if you want.
Oh, you don't want a separate one for it?
Or we could just transition right into it, or whatever you think.
It just doesn't look good for viewers, because then if somebody tries to watch it, anybody who's not watching it right now won't.
So we'll start another one then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll log off and then back on. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Good luck, everybody. I'll be in Discord if any things pop up during this